correction and a compensation on the part of the vessel, and it is also a compensation on the part of the light. Both of them are very settled. On the part of the vessel the vessels of the attributes are from a higher level and root than the source of the revelations. The vessels stand on a higher root than the source of the revelations, and therefore, by knowing its source, the vessels that are knowledgeable and aware of what their source is, permeated in their world, and therefore they feel that their purpose is at a lower world, not to remove themselves from world, but actually to remain stable, structured in a world which they can contain, and will contain the revelation that is in their vessel. The light also feels in the world of Eilam Atzilus, it feels a certain purpose, and the purpose is that this is the world where Hashem wants, the Almighty wants, a dwelling place in this world and not in the higher worlds. And therefore the light has this intuition that has received on a spiritual level, that the purpose is not to run up there and to cling and expire, but instead to settle back down here in order to serve a certain purpose. So therefore, on the part of the vessel, on the part of the revelation, both of them know their purpose is here, and therefore they're able to unite and connect as one. Another difference between the world of chaos and the world of tikkun is that the world of chaos, Hasidus explains, is only two columns. The world of tikkun has 3 columns. When we take the 10 attributes, we draw it in a table. On a table, we have 3 columns. We can have 3 columns, we can have 2 columns. 2 columns are Chesed, Chochma, Chesed, and Netzach. Knowledge, generosity, and Netzach being victorious. This is all one column of a table. The second column would be Bina, Gvura, Heid. Bina is intuition, analysis, strictness, and Heid is admitting, is also the sense of humiliation. This is the left column. That is Eilam Ateo. Eilam Ateo has only 2 columns. The world of Tikkun has a 3rd column, and that 3rd column blends together the other 2 columns. The Eilam Atikun has also a column in the middle which is called Kavhem Tzoi, the middle column, and that column allows that 2 opposites should be able to blend together. Where does the middle column have this potential to blend together 2 opposites? The answer is because it reaches to a higher sphere than from where the 2 columns originate. It comes from the Pnimius, from the ultimate level in the crown of Keser. And the others come from the external level of Keser. And therefore, he is able to connect them together. A simple example for that is, you have two ministers. Let's speak on a spiritual level instead of speaking about the Senate and the Congress. You have two angels. That's the example that's given in the anthology. The angel Michael and the angel Gabriel. They are 2 angels. One is screaming fire, one is Michael is screaming water. Gabriel is screaming fire. According to another version, Michael is screaming the snow, and Gabriel is screaming fire. They serve Hashem in different ways. One with love and affection, the other one with fear. Now each one is the opposite of the other. Each one has a team Michael has a team of 186,000 angels under him. Gabriel has 151,000 angels, which, by the way, if you look at the numbers of the groups of the Shvatim, the tribes, the 4 Machanes of the Shvatim, the tribes that are mentioned in the beginning of the book of Numbers, it's exactly the same numbers. 186,000, 151,000, because the 4 groups over here reflected the 4 main angels up there. So therefore it's exactly in the same way. And that's why they received flags, because they saw the Malach and they said, we want flags. So they received Degel Machane Yehuda, Degel Machane Reuven, Degel Machane. They're all of them different. Everyone received like 4 groups, 4 camps. This is the difference between Teiu and Tikkun. By Tikkun, there is something that blends them together. It comes from a higher level. So when these 2 angels are standing for the Almighty, they lose their composure. They lose their entity. They're standing in front of Hashem. What do we say then? Oise Shalom B'mreimov. Hashem makes peace in His heights. Because this is where they're all connected together. Because over there's no chesed, there's no gvura, there's one thing, there's only the Almighty. Which this is basically the advantage, the contribution of Elam HaTikun that actually blends it together and allows things to coexist one with another. Now we're going to get to the part which is called Birurim. I forgot when I started. Birurim. Okay. Birurim. I'll mention it in brief. Birurim means refining the sparks that were lost. These sparks were thrown into the 4 different rivers. And when the Jewish nation wanders in exile from one river to another, the Nile River, the Persian Gulf, so they are refining the sparks that are found there. In Egypt, well, let's speak first what's the total, how many sparks we're talking about. We're talking about 288 sparks.
That's it.
That's it. It sounds very little, but we're stuck thousands of years with it. 202 sparks were redeemed when they walked out of Egypt. The Arizal, it's mentioned in Kabbalah, Ve'erev Rav Ole Itam. Rav, yeah, but I'm talking to Pasik. Ve'erev Rav. Yeah, Rav is 202.
Wow.
No matter 202. So how many were we left with? 86. 86 from the time of going out to Egypt till now. This is not 2 or 3 years. What's the reason? The reason is simple, because in Egypt we had very general souls, 600,000. These were the sources, the roots of all the souls later. So therefore they had the potential that they were able to accomplish more. Later it became more complicated.
We're just a copy of this soul, we're not the original. They are the original.
No, 600,000 is like the roots, yeah, general. Then they are neshamas klolius as far as
the copy.
Where copies, where roots from, where branches from them. Basically, it comes out that and it's a bigger aveda. Therefore, it's broken down into more shrapnels, and that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with more fragments, and it's lower neshamas, not the same souls and standards as it was then. This is basically what it's called refinement, and this is when a person takes something physical, utilizes it for the purpose of a mitzvah, commandment, this is what he accomplishes. Okay, now we get to the Parsha, and now we'll understand the Parsha. Just to make an introduction, this is also by divine providence. Today, in the daytime, we commemorated the birth date and the passing on the same very day of the Mittler Rebbe, the second Rebbe of Chabad, Rab Dov Ber. He was the son of the founder of Chabad. He was the successor of his father, and he introduced many different Hasidic discourses, books, very deep. He could speak for 16, 17 hours, and on a very deep level. He discusses the story of Esav and Yankov, and based on his father's talk, he actually connects it with Teiu and Tikkun. And he asks a few questions. He says, why is it that Yankov needed to divide his family into 2 teams? Why is it that he needed to send such animals which are not even kosher? Camels, made of. What did he send them? What was the purpose of all this? And what was the purpose of this whole process? And what he was doing over here? This was a whole geschichte over here. He had people taking care of it, and then he had masses, different animals that were coming, and then one group, another group, and he made space between one and another. That Esav shouldn't feel satisfied that it's finished already. No, there's more coming. There's more coming. To get him excited, in order that he should be pleased, in order that he should find favor in his eyes. What did he need to find favor in his eyes? What happened over here? So Chassidus explains like this: Yankov, when he left the house of Lavan, He felt, I already dealt with love in the 20 years. I'm